G'day, guys. Chris from All-Terrain Action here, joining you tonight to talk about the Mount Terrible trip we have planned in a couple of weeks' time. Tonight, I'll have myself joined here with Jordan. Good evening, Jordan. How are you?
Not too bad yourself, Chris.
Not bad. So we're just going to let a couple of people kind of flow in on the online streams. We're hitting up the YouTube and the Facebook mediums tonight. I've actually never done a dual stream before. We've normally just hit up the YouTube channel, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know how people get alerts on Facebook, so it'll be interesting. I might even just make a quick
comes up as a notification
post in the group. Yep, and I think we're good on YouTube. Let's have a look. Yes, we are, except it's a picture has nothing to do with Mount Terrible. Yeah, still learning the ropes here. So I've seen that Territory Off-Road jumped in before. I don't know how he knew we were about to stream when I hadn't hit start stream, so that's very odd. I'm hoping people on YouTube also get a direct announcement. But anyway, let me see if I can pull up the planner. All right. So if we have a look, yep, that's a good error. Good error to start with. What's going on with that? Don't lie to me, Hema. I've had really bad luck with the new version they've released. Oh, look, Caleb actually got notification, so it must be working. You get notification, Caleb, over at your end, so people must...
I'm supposed to be going to bed.
I got a notification for YouTube on my phone.
You did, yeah, okay. Do you follow us on Facebook?
I believe so.
Yeah, you didn't get one there, though.
I can double check.
I'll just see if I can...
Is it in the group, or is it just on Facebook?
No, I think it's just public Facebook. I think. Let me have a look. This is the joys of trying to... Okay, copy link. Let me just post this in the All-Terrain Action group.
I see in your group that it says you're live. It just didn't get a notification. I don't know if it's like YouTube and you have to click a bell or something to get all notifications.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Live just talking about... we're live just talking about Mount Terrible Daytrip. We'll get started in a second anyway. Just people can come back to this later. Anyway, later this... I hope it's safe to have my Facebook open here. Turn off my chats. Message pop-ups closed. All right. Yes. All right. Here we go. Let's try this. So, let me go to events. Yeah, we go to good old bots. We still have bot problems even on YouTube. Okay, cool. Why is it like this? Oh, okay, hang on. All right, so the event is on the last weekend of, I think it is February, is what we looked at. I wanted to do it on a long weekend, but it's just not possible because we've got other plans for the long weekend. Now, a couple of questions that I've been asked is where exactly, like what type of vehicles we can bring on the trip. If it lets me show you this, let me just put that there. Oh, it really hates me. Okay. We have to... Yep.
Hemer's not your friend at the moment?
No, well, it's weird because in another window, I've actually got the track open. It just won't open in that window, which is kind of weird, actually.
We lost. Did we lose him?
Hello, are you there? That was weird. Are you there?
Yeah, you disappeared. You disappeared for a second.
I just disappeared from everyone. Okay, let's have a look. So my tracks. Okay, working now. So Mount Terrible scouting track. If we have a look, where we kind of want to get to is about... Yeah, can you see my mouse pointer through that?
Yes.
Okay. if there's a way to make my mouse pointer larger. Be good to know for future things. There we go. Bigger mouse pointer?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Mount Terrible Hut is right up here, and it's basically. Oh, I've got to figure out a better way to do this.
Google Maps.
No. What I actually want to do is I wanted to show the video and where it's at, but I've just realized I can't switch tabs in a live stream like this. So let me see if I go back and forth. What will let me? So if I just go to a spot where we were camping. V8 footage? Nope. Me and this.
That one I don't know about.
Oh, setting up stuff. Should have one of the camp point. Voiceover B-roll. Yeah. Here we go. Let me just volume. Is that really loud on your end?
No, that wasn't too bad.
Okay.
It's loud, but it's not over the top.
That's what I said. I
Probably
would
do
go
turn
up
it down a
at
little
60.
bit.
That better?
If I set my alarm, I generally wake
Yeah.
up. If my alarm went off
Yeah.
the top, that'd be fucking weird.
Oh, so
So I need to change.
this is a camp spot that you or me stayed at, if you remember.
Yes.
And there's a bit of a river line there, and it's not shockingly bad. And I think if I go back to the map now, it'll hate me for. Oh no, it actually brought me back to the map. Okay, so that's basically at this point right here. And what we want to do is we want to kind of meet up there because this main road here is all two-wheel drive accessible. I think it's a sealed road from memory.
Yes.
We kind of want to meet up in this little spot in here, and that's that little camp spot here that kind of showed you guys. Well, there needs to be a better way of doing that. Anyway, so from there in the morning, we want to head up this, I think it's Ilden Jameson Road. Yep. We want to head up and pretty much go all the way up to here. Now, this is all sealed. So this entire road will go in like kind of like a convoy setup, and we'll meet at this point right here. That kind of looks like air up. Where are we?
What isn't Chris done?
So it's like an interchange point. So we'll just come in kind of off this road here, and we'll all kind of just kind of start going up. Now, the thing that I've been asked by a couple of people are, firstly, can lifted adventurers or can normal adventurers with only road tires go through this track? The track's not really rutted, and it's not really stones and rocks that would be tire damaging. So for example, I took a couple of examples of the split offs. So some of
Might turn that down again too.
Yep, some of the tracks that you come up. So this is actually Mount Terrible track. So this one on the left here, and this is kind of like how they all are. They all kind of, you're on like a surface that looks a bit like this. It's more like a dirt road than an actual track, but you'll come up to a point where there's split offs. So there's probably about maybe 24 of these across Mount Terrible track, and vehicles that will be just like normal, so lifted with road tires or non-lifted standard adventurers would be able to travel along this road here. And any of the modified adventurers, so if you're lifted with all terrains and you want to do a little bit of off-roading, you can actually take this right track or left track, because they veer off on both sides, to take a more technical track, I guess. And we'll have vehicles on both sides. So we'll have someone on the left side or the right side taking the safe track, and then we'll have another vehicle leading and following behind on the off-road track. All these tracks kind of end up joining back up at the very bottom. So you'll see how this is kind of technical and obviously not just like a flat road, but at the very, very end, they all kind of eventually meet back up. So you'll see here that this is a signpost, and this is the track that we saw on the left before leading out, and they just kind of join up. So whoever's at the bottom will obviously wait for everyone on the off-road to kind of rejoin the convoy again. What we might actually do on the day, and I just thought about this, is vehicles that are kind of traveling the normal track, they'll be up ahead. So whenever we come down in the off-road vehicles, people can see or have a break, because we're obviously going to travel a lot slower than they are. Makes sense. That's probably, I wouldn't say this track you just saw here is kind of the worst of what off-road tracks you have off Mount Terrible track. One of the ones that gets quite interesting that vehicles could try are, what's this, steep hill? Okay, so you've got this hill here, and this is actually quite steep. It doesn't look that bad in the video, but it's quite interesting how steep this actually was.
Well, by the time we got to the top, we were basically looking at the sky.
Yeah, from the GoPro that's in the vehicle, we were looking at the sky. Again, it just doesn't look that bad in video. It's just crazy how fine this actually looks. But this was us at the very top, and then we ran across to the side to see how Dave would go in his Hilux coming up. But this would be a good track for a lifted adventurer to give it a shot if you're into the steep stuff. Luke didn't actually do this on the day because he kind of went the other direction. So, but it gives you guys an opportunity. Like, you see me here trying to climb up. It's quite steep.
I think Luke would have crawled up that quite easily, though.
I reckon. Like, there's plenty of stuff here with Luke. Where was it? Shadely Descent.
Doesn't they say space up a little?
Nope, that's me. There we go. So, like, that's probably not as steep, but it's kind of close to the steepness. Maybe 5 degrees more that other one, and he just literally drove up that. Listen to the V8 just idling its way up. Hardly a struggle at all. So his one did pretty well going up that. I think one of the most technical tracks that you might see on there. So for anyone who's seeking for a bit of off-road action, and this is again this is a good one for a lifted adventurer that kind of wants to try something like more technical. Camera works a little bit average here. We weren't really these aren't cut edits, so we're kind of going with what we got. But there's a bit of cross axle. You can't really see the depths here, but the track on one side drops down, the other side drops up. You can see the four-wheel drive kind of hopping around a bit. So there are tracks like this as well that are also off tracks. So right now there's another track running parallel to this on the ground that's kind of very normal. Do you actually remember this part of the track, Jordan?
Yeah, I do.
And
it was quite steep. It doesn't look it in the video, but it's still again. Yeah,
the video doesn't really show you how interesting it actually is. And then you get to the top and it's just kind of flat again. So a lot of these tracks that we did on this day, we were scouting around. Luke was with us, and I mean, he didn't really have any problems at all.
None.
Yeah, actually, probably none. And I mean, the other weird thing was he's on all terrains, but he's still on 35 PSI for the whole day.
Well, we pretty much only span the wheels going up one hill that was steep enough for him to spin for a little bit, and that was about it. Yeah. And then even then he just backed up and just went another line, and away he went. So I don't think that many people will have too many problems if they come on the day trip. The day trip will be, ideally, you guys are bringing your own lunch, pack some lunch, pack some food. We were going to cook something up there, but then I kind of thought about it, and I'm like, if we all get up there and then we've got to cook for like 20 people, make lunch, I don't know if we'll have enough resources to kind of do that. So it'll just be easier if people bring their own something. And when we get to the top of Mount Terrible Hut, it kind of looks a bit like this.
It looks like you're thinking of...
Plane coming to pick you up now.
So you've just got the Mount Terrible sign. You guys can take photos. And then you've got the kind of lookout. So you got the hut there. There's plenty of tables and chairs. I think there's another set of those table and chairs over here that you can all sit out and have lunch. People can take photos. We can catch up.
You got the book to sign.
You've got the book to sign. We'll probably do a giveaway depending on how many people turn up. I might talk to one of our partnered sponsors and see if we can give away something as well on the day. Just depends how many people come. I mean, if we get 20, yeah, we probably can do one. So it's just something I'll figure out when we're closer to the date. But look, there's certainly, it's certainly like a trip. If you don't really get out much, you can come and you're kind of safe. You got plenty of people. We'll have plenty of vehicles to support people that just want to drive through the flat track that is actually flat. And we got plenty of vehicles to support people that want to take the off tracks. Even if you just want to try one, like you pick it. You look at it from the ground and go, oh, well, how does that look? Yeah, I want to do that. Pull off to the side and off you go. You don't all need UHF, but yeah, if you have one, obviously bring one. I don't think there's any more highlights. We will be taking... So we will come up Mount Terrible track, which is off the Eildon Jameson Road. And the track starts up here, follows all the way up. It does rate as an M track, but I would say it's more of a E track than anything. I don't know why it's like that. And then up here where the Mount Terrible hut is, there's two tracks. So you'll come around here, and this is the safe track. And then there's this kind of modified track. So this actually would be a good place for what I'm thinking. A lot of the other adventurers or other vehicles too. It's not just adventurers, I should say that. If you got a four-wheel drive, whether it's lifted or not, Territory, Subaru, whatever, as long as it's kind of like off-road, soft-roader type thing, you can come to this and you can pretty much park up around at the top here. Sorry, Jordan, what were you about to say?
Just so it's not your city kind of SUV.
Yeah, and not lowered. Lowered adventurers probably, I don't think it would work. Just because there are some ramp over angles. So what I mean by that is when you go over just a slight climb, you got to kind of like come across. So you have this little bit of a ramp over angle. It's not drastic that it would, I don't think it would contact on a standard adventurer. I mean, I was actually thinking of taking one up there this weekend, but my plans are changing, so I won't get up there. But I actually think a stock adventure would be fine. I mean, Wall took his stock adventurer to a lot of places, and I was actually quite surprised how well that did with that lift. Now, back to the point where I was actually saying up here. Come on, Hema. This little section here. So when all the cars come up this Mount Terrible track, they'll come around and follow the vehicle, and you all kind of park here. Now, this isn't the hut. This is actually a bit of a playground area that we can get a couple of you guys who've got lifted adventurers to have a go at.
Or lifted cars in general.
I've got to stop saying that. Adventurers. Yeah.
All sorts of makes and models.
All sorts of makes and models. That's it. Shayley Descent, Scenic Views. Get your sticker. Oh, you wouldn't believe it, but I don't even know what I would have named it.
One of the multiple named NA footage.
Potentially. I thought that I would have named it something obvious, but I've failed at this.
Not the Mount Terrible split off in the middle.
No, let me just thumbnail view this for 1 second, and I'll see if I can actually pick it out. Oh, yeah, Faint of Heart, of course. So this is actually at this point. Now, you can kind of see how steep this is just by looking at the background here. But, I mean, I tried to turn onto this track from a cutoff lane, and it felt like I was going to tip the Fortuner, so that kind of gives you an idea. But it's kind of a little bit fun.
Can you see how Luke turns the corner?
Yeah, Luke just took, like, here he comes. I'll show you. So he turns it fine, even giving it some. But then you've got this little section here you can climb up. I'd say this is about 25 degrees, and it's just the shaly loose stuff. So there's plenty of that. I mean, you guys could even go all the way to the bottom. We probably actually will come from the bottom because, actually, just to clarify, so the bottom of this track here is actually the bottom of... I really wish they made an easier way to actually switch between the two. Is actually right here. And that's where you're kind of going up. So that whole stretch there is that shaly section. I came up from the bottom, so we'll all come up. The off-road vehicles will all come up here, and any of the on-road vehicles will be kind of behind where this camera's getting photos from, because you can just drive up to the top, no worries, around the side. And look, even in the forward drive, you can kind of see there's a couple of sections here where you can really test out how the Adventure will handle a situation like this. Even here, I should have put my rear lockers, and I probably might have been able to drive up that, but I didn't, because I mean I was still new to that forward drive, so I was kind of a bit iffy. Oh yeah, so you can kind of see here that it's a bit of a flat area down here, and that's kind of where the top is, behind where the camera point was last time. So, and then not far from here is pretty much Mount Terrible. You literally drive up around the corner, down, and you're kind of there. So I think that there shouldn't be too many difficulties. We'll be going back on the same track. So if you come up in the morning and you don't do any off-road tracks, it doesn't matter. If on your way back you change your mind, you're like, oh, I feel like doing something now, you kind of can. So you can just decide, head there first, enjoy yourself, maybe see what other vehicles do, and then decide on the way back if you want to take any. We're not taking any other tracks on the Saturday, simply because Newman's track is kind of a lot of up and then ramp over, and I think that there's no bypass tracks. So if a vehicle is contacting, well, people aren't going to want to go that way because they're not going to want to damage the bottom of their cars. So we just simply won't be taking any other track. The track that leads off here is an interesting track, and as is Donald track coming back. That's potentially a track that we might take the next day if there's any people that want to hang around that night. And that night we will be camping at that spot where we all meet. So that's a spot where that river runs down. There's quite a few camp spots there. We probably get, as long as no one's already there, which is probably not likely, but you might get 8 camp setups, maybe more, with vehicles. They're kind of sectioned out, like apart from each other. So there could be spots where you could squeeze in if you wanted to. But there's also another camp spot here, and I think another one up here anyway. So one way or another, you'll find a spot.
That was Jim Bollock, wasn't it? Or John Bollock or something along those lines? I think is the name of that camp spot.
Something. Jim Bollock sounds right. Does sound right, yeah. Yeah. I'm wondering if I've got any footage of stuff that's not kind of stream that is stream friendly. Hang on, where is the?
I was almost for it.
Well, this is me in the. So it's really hard to kind of give you guys a bearing of what it actually looks like.
Being involved to chuck under that.
It's very loud.
Sorry. I don't think that I actually really took any footage of. Actually, that could be a lie. Uh-oh. I don't think. I can play drone footage on here. I think it's too big. Yeah, 3.2 gigs. Well, okay. He's even struggling to load that photo. Okay. But yeah, no, I think that's all I have really. I don't think I'm trying to think of anything else anyone asked me. I think someone said, can they come in road tires? Yes, you can come in road tires. No, you don't need lift. You just can't be lowered at the key points. And bring your own lunch. Probably bring a passenger. I think it's always better if you're doing these things where you're with someone and you got someone to talk to. Go to UHF, bring one. That would be ideal, but it's not required. And
there's a public toilet at the campsite. Like a drop pit toilet?
Oh yeah, there's a drop toilet at the campsite. Yeah, where we're staying. Good point. There is fishing too, actually, which we learned last minute when we were there last time. Jordan's big into fishing, as you can see. And an hour before we're leaving, we actually pointed out that we actually pointed out that we're actually going to go fishing for a bit. But so we're not going down Newman's track. So on Sunday, we'll probably do. So what I've found, Keith, Territory Off-Road, is that I think I'm just going to split the days up. So we'll have a kind of a social day, which is the Saturday, and then on the Sunday we'll have an off-road day. Just because I don't really want to split everyone up, and I know what you were saying about. Oh, let me see if I can find the map. So I'm still trying to find. Yeah, here we go. Here. So this is Newman's track, which is the one you're referring to. I don't really want to split everyone up. I don't want to send people back down that way and then have some of us go this way, unless we've got the numbers. I mean, if we've got, 3 or probably 4 cars that are part of our convoy that can lead, we could send 2 down the regular track, bringing people back out, and send 2 the other way. But the only thing I was thinking is that I have a very big feeling that people are going to be more eager to try a side track on the way out instead of on the way in, if that makes sense. Mainly because they're going to see other lifted vehicles go through it, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm lifted. They went through it fine, so I wouldn't mind going back through that way. You know what I mean? So, and I kind of want to be on that side of things so we can get videos of people having a go, stuff like that. So Sunday, definitely.
Luke's dad was like that. He gained confidence as we went. He wasn't sure what his car could do.
Yeah, and I mean, he's running a 2-inch lifted Hilux, all-terrains, 32-inch tires, the whole lot. And yeah, he used to four-wheel drive, but he wanted to get back out with some people that know a little bit, been out four-wheel driving recently to bring up his confidence again. And I think it was not even, I reckon, an hour out on the track. He was taking all the side tracks after that with us. So that's what actually gave me the idea about this, because I said, wow, the main track for Mount Terrible is very flat and normal, like a dirt road type thing. So it's perfect because there's none of this having a rendezvous back. We literally just take our track and then we just meet up again further down the Y when the Y junction returns. And they're probably not more than, I don't reckon you'd be split up for more than 500 meters, Jordan, you reckon?
Yeah, less than most of them.
Yeah, there is one that it went for probably a K, I reckon. It goes like right up, and that was that really technical one. Oh, maybe 700 meters, not a K. But then that's probably the worst that I can remember. What I actually want to take you down Territory Off-Road is actually down here. The next day, I'd like to come down here and loop right around back up to Donald Track and take you up that. One of the hills on there was... Where's my videos? Something bump, clank, bang. So
don't forget to turn it down a little bit. Just it's much louder than your voice.
Yeah, sorry. So coming up, this would be interesting. I think this would. So give us some out footage. This doesn't look as steep, but the stones are kind of slippery, and they kind of flick out from underneath you. So going up, this would be interesting. You can kind of see how steep it is here, kind of, but it's not great. It's hard to show you in a video what you're going to expect.
A lot of bouncing sideways, back and forth. Poor wall in the back.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So I know you're getting down there on the Friday. Is that right? We don't know if we'll be up there Friday. It will depend on things to be assessed, but I will know obviously a week before the event. And if I'm there, well, I'm there. But if not, I'll be there first thing Saturday morning with everyone. I still don't know exactly who's coming from our side of the convoy, but it'll be a few people, at least 3 vehicles, probably 4. So it'll be good to catch up again. Yep. I don't think there's many other people here, which I'm actually very surprised. I don't know if I noticed that if I go live on YouTube on a day where I don't normally upload a video, no one. It's cricket. Literally crickets. But if I was to go live on YouTube at like 6 o'clock on a Wednesday, people rock up. So it's just one of those weird things. And some weeks are much better than other weeks. So I guess it all depends where people are and if they see the notification and if they actually, can sit down and listen. So, but anyway, this video,
what time it is?
Yeah, this video will serve as a reference anyway. I'll go and watch it again after the fact, putting some timestamps so people can find what they want, and hopefully we get a few people turning up. So I can't think of anything else that's important or relevant. Except have fun. Oh, and bring a spare. You have to bring a spare, actually. So even though road tires, it'll be all fine. Like I'm thinking it'll be all fine. Still bring a spare because, if something happens, better to have one. And at least then we can get someone to come with you and turn you back around and take you to the main road so you can kind of, go home. Or, I don't know, we'll work out something. But spares. No cars with cooling issues. So the big thing I found, and this is mostly to adventurers, if you have any type of cooling issue, as soon as you start coming on an incline or a decline, if you've got like an issue with air pockets or something and you haven't bled your radiator properly, or you've got a leak somewhere and air's getting in, as soon as you start doing this type of stuff off-road, that air pocket moves around in your cooling system and it just becomes a big problem at some point. I know from experience. So make sure vehicle's in good condition before coming along. Yeah, that's it. So, fishing, Jordan.
Yes.
Tell me about the fishing. If someone wanted to bring fishing rod to go fishing at that little spot we found, what did we hear that people were catching there? I don't recall.
They were catching trout.
Okay, so in that little river.
Yes, that little river. Trout live in all sorts of rivers and streams. I found out that you can't use power bait, which is like that small little bait you get from in a little container. They don't work on live fish or, in the wild. They work better on ones that have been raised in captivity.
Do you have any GoPro footage of that fishing spot?
No, but
okay.
I think I had photos on my phone, but not much really happened. I was trying different setups, so I wasn't really set up for freshwater like I am now.
Yep, no, that's all good. All good. Well, anyway, so if you're staying the night, fishing rod is a doable thing for catching trout, freshwater fishing. 2
to 4 light rod, 2 to 4 kilo, and a lure that looks the similar color to a trout works best, or a soft plastic.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks for anyone that tuned in, and if you have any follow-up questions, you can comment in the video or comment into the Facebook event group, and one of us will answer. I'll also put up a map as well and mark it so you guys have an idea. And times are still unconfirmed, but it's going to be early. So if you're coming from Melbourne, it's about a 3-hour, 2.5-hour drive to get to the camp spot, I think. Maybe a bit more, 3 hours, I think. So you'll be getting up at something like 7 a.m. because I think our meetup will be around about 10 or 11. Yep. Cool. All right. Catch you guys later. And I'll speak to you guys in the next live stream.
See you later.